This is my solar heater. I use it for testing various types of mirrors which radically increase its heat production and heating temperature. My solar heater is connected to this tank and heats its water by solar energy, but my following recommendation might be interesting for any other solar heaters if they have a water tank. Let's look at how this tank is connected to the hot water supply of my summer cottage, and it is interesting that now 50 liters of water inside the tank has been heated by solar energy to a temperature of 84 degrees Celsius, although the water temperature is usually noticeably lower, about 50 or 60 degrees Celsius. Now I have temporarily removed the top cover of my tank, and we see 20 meters of aluminum plastic pipe which connects two pipes of my summer cottage through these hoses. In addition, I have tested this corrugated stainless steel pipe, and I came to the conclusion that it is our best option. These are the results of my measurements of the heating effect of both types of my pipes. We see that 1 meter of the stainless pipe has the same effect as about 6 meters of the aluminum plastic pipe, but the accuracy of my measurements was not high. Now I remind you of this pipe inside my water tank. This inlet of the pipe connects to the cold water supply of my summer cottage through this hose. This second hose starts from the pipe outlet, and now I will show you where it is going. Of course, we understand that such hoses are convenient for testing and various experiments, but they must be replaced with permanent reliable pipes. The second hose comes here, and this tube goes to the hot tap of my wash basin mixer and to the hot tap of my shower. However, I think it would be better to connect this hose to the input of our tank electric water heater. This connection ensures that we will always have hot water and the electricity consumption of our tank heater will decrease several times. However, it is possible that a more interesting variant is to connect that hose to the input of several tankless electric heaters, but I did not test this idea experimentally. Let's look at what happens when 50 liters of water in my tank has a temperature of 83 degrees Celsius and we take the heat through the 15 meters of the corrugated stainless pipe. Now this green hose begins to give cold water to the inlet of the stainless pipe, and the cold water begins to displace this water which has this temperature. It is obvious that in the first seconds the temperature is greater than 80 degrees Celsius, because it is the water which has been inside the pipe for a long time. We can calculate that the internal volume of 15 meters of corrugated stainless pipe with the size of half an inch is 2.5 liters. Here, at the bottom of my bucket, we can see that almost all 2.5 liters have already left the stainless pipe. These irregularities in the water flow shows air bubbles which were accumulated near the inlet of the pipe. Now we see the water which came from that green hose about a minute ago, when it was the cold water with a temperature of 13 degrees Celsius. That is why the temperature of this sensor starts to decrease. We understand that now the cold water enters the stainless pipe and goes through 15 meters of the pipe for 45 seconds, when the water is heated from 13 to 77 degrees Celsius and leaves the pipe. I remind you that it is 3 degrees colder than that water which has been inside the pipe for a long time. The sensor tells us that the water temperature gradually decreases because that 50 liters of water inside the tank is cooled due to the fact that it transfers its own heat. I want to warn you that using this hot water requires some experience if the outlet of the pipe connects to your shower without an electric water heater. If you gain some experience, the shower may be fine for you, but your relatives or guests may give a negative assessment to the shower. Nevertheless, this disadvantage is eliminated if the outlet of the pipe is connected to the inlet of your electric water heater. The water flow through the stainless pipe is slightly more than 3 liters per minute. Therefore, we can calculate that now the pipe heats that cold water with a capacity of 14 kilowatts, and it is a bit more than is required for normal shower. Now we see that the water temperature has decreased even more. I reminded that this is due to the gradual decrease in the temperature of those 50 liters of water which heat the cold water inside the pipe. Now exactly 4.5 minutes have passed since the beginning of our experiment. We see that my solar heater has already produced 15 liters of hot water with a temperature between 81 and 68 degrees Celsius. If these 15 liters mix with cold water, we have 35 liters of a water mixture with a temperature of 40 degrees. We understand that heating this water took a lot of heat from those 50 liters inside my tank, and I remind you that their temperature was 83 degrees Celsius before starting this experiment. However, now, after the experiment, the temperature of those 50 liters of water has decreased to 68 degrees Celsius, and it is 15 degrees less than it was before the experiment.